All right, so welcome to our team call for March 11th. Niki actually reached out to me about this, which I love when she does this because Niki is so fantastic at everything she does. If you don't follow Niki on social media, you absolutely should. She's always sharing so many little nuggets and hacks and wisdom and inspiration, and just is, I think personally, because I know you, Niki, for so long now, just like floored at the growth she's had over the last couple of years, not just in her personal journey, but in her business journey and her transformation of her habits and just how she gets things done. So I'm super excited for her to hop on tonight and share with you. I'll let her kind of introduce herself and share what she's talking about and let you take it away.
Yay! All right, guys. So I know some of you. I see some familiar faces, but if you don't know me, my name is Niki. I am going to tell you a little bit about my journey first, but I have the chat box open. So if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat. You can just like raise your hand, ask, whatever, and I'm going to like run through this stuff. But I want to make sure I'm able to answer your questions. So put your questions there. I'll get to as much as I can up until 9:30, and then that's what we get to. So I've got the most important stuff first. So I'm Niki. I'm a life coach. I have built my life coaching business over the last years when I really jumped in to building my life coaching business. And my business is focused around, at this point, it's made a lot of different transitions, but around morning routines, teaching women how to create morning routines, teaching women about the power of morning routines, and then also just consistency, habits, and creating a life filled with intention. That's what I'm obsessed with, and creating a business filled with intention. And so I coach all types of women, entrepreneurs, non-entrepreneurs, moms, not single women, career women, all those types of things. But I really, really love working with entrepreneurs because you guys want something more for your life. You want something more, you have a dream, you want to make an impact, you want to do something and create something more than what you have in this moment. And so that's why I just love working with women who have a dream, are motivated, are ambitious, and then want to take that to the next level. So a little bit about my journey. I did not start as motivated, disciplined, consistent. And so many people are like, well, you're just disciplined, you're just motivated, you just have structure in your life. And that was not me whatsoever. I was the biggest hot mess express, like flying by the seat of my pants all the time, getting up late, going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, just not having like any habits really at all. Probably the biggest hot mess that I knew. And I said that I was above discipline. I was better than that. I was a spirit. I did that. But really, I was stressed to max all the time. I was anxious all the freaking time because I did not have my stuff together and I didn't know what was going on in my life. And I lacked a lot of confidence because of that. I lacked confidence because I wasn't living from a space of intention. And I was living on this hamster wheel of just going with whatever life was throwing at me and being in a really, really reactionary state rather than being productive and rather than creating my life. And so through people like Dana, who really, really helps me get started in this journey, and through mentorship, and then through my own, like helping myself through personal development and those types of things, I started a morning routine. And I was never a morning person, ever. Like the opposite of a morning person before I started that. But I started with 10 minutes a day. And now I have an hour, usually it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning that I spend on myself and my business every single morning. And it has completely and totally transformed my entire life in every single aspect, every single way. And I want to talk to you guys about why. Like why? What are the benefits of a morning routine? And why am I so passionate about this? And there's like several things that you can incorporate a morning routine that works for you. I know like we hear about the miracle morning, which I think that's great. And there's just a lot of different people teach different things. But what I like to teach is that you get to decide how you want to spend your morning. And that can be in 10 minutes a day. That can be in 2 hours a day. It's based on what you want and what is going to impact you the most in your life. And so some of the benefits of that are personal development, getting your personal development in every single day, making time for your personal development and your mindset every single day. I call this the inner work. That's what has, I mean, that's the big thing. We can take the action, we can do the steps. We can say we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but if we're not working on ourselves up here and we're not connecting to ourselves right here, it's really, really hard to have the confidence and the self-belief to actually make it happen, to actually take the action, step outside of fear, and do the big things that are going to move our lives forward. And so that's my number one non-negotiable, is my inner work, is the mindset work. If I don't get to anything else in the day, I do that. If I don't get to my exercise the day, I still have done my mindset work. If I don't do anything in my business, I have still done my mindset work. I do it every day. I do not let that be something that gets like washed to the wayside, because I notice such a huge difference in how I react throughout the day when I haven't done that. And so I just don't skip it. I don't skip it. And that's really the number one thing that I recommend that everyone makes time for in their life. And so it doesn't have to be in your morning routine, but it's really, really helpful to create it in that pocket of time. Because what I hear is, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to do personal development. I don't have time to work on myself. I don't have time to read or journal or meditate or any of these things. And so my response to that is, okay, so let's figure out a way to make the time. And so a lot of it just has to do with readjusting your schedule, changing things around in your routine in order to make the priorities in life priorities. Because so often we prioritize the wrong things. We're not prioritizing the real priorities. We're prioritizing the laundry and the housework and the drama and all the crap. We're not prioritizing the real priorities, which is yourself, the connection with yourself, your belief in yourself, the confidence in yourself, so you can actually take the steps to build the life that you want to build. So that's one benefit of morning routine, is to create a pocket of time for yourself to do your personal development every single day, to do the inner work every single day. There's that. The second one is to gain clarity, focus, and intention in your life. I truly believe that I live from a space of intention because I start my day from a space of intention. And it's so easy to carry that with you when you're cultivating that feeling in the morning. So every morning I get up, I make my coffee, I meditate, and then I journal for about 40 minutes, and then 45 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half. It just depends on what's going on, what I need to like work through. And then I work on my business for an hour. So I do that every morning. I know that doesn't work for everybody. Like I said, I started with 10 minutes a day, and I just carried on from there with that and like made it longer and longer and longer because I saw the benefits that I was seeing from it. But that has created this space of living with intention and having clarity around what I actually want, what my message is, what I want from my business, what I want from my relationships. And when we can come from a space of clarity, especially you guys from this space where you guys are creating content for social media, and when you're really trying to fulfill your purpose and build your dream life, having clarity around what your purpose is, what your intention is, what your impact is, that is going to drive you to go out there and do it. In order to move, you have to have something that's going to move you. And so that for me is being clear on my purpose, clear on my intention, and going over that over and over and over again. It's not a one and done deal. It's not like a one-time thing. It's constantly, continuously cultivating that within yourself so that you move, so that you get up and go. And when I started my life coaching business, I was scared shitless. I was so scared about what people are going to think about me And is this going to work? And am I going to fail? And all of these things. And so I journaled about that constantly, my vision, why am I doing this? And that has to be greater than your fears. Your vision, what you want, what you desire, and the impact that you want to make has to be greater than your fears. And so taking time to cultivate that, taking time to focus on that. I do that in my journaling every single day. Taking time to set intentions and live from a space of intention, it is going to help you so much in actually taking action. And so sometimes we say, I don't have time to do the inner work, the mindset work, because I need to take the action, because I need to do this X, Y, and Z. So I don't have time to do all that other crap over there, the frou-frou other stuff. Like, I don't have time for it. But for me, when I'm taking action from a space where I'm not clear and I'm not being intentional and I'm not connected to my purpose, it is not yielding the same result as when I am super connected to that purpose and very connected to my intention and clear on what is my impact, what am I here to do, and how am I here to serve? What is the message that I want to share? When I'm connected to that, it allows me to create so much greater results. The action yields a much, much greater result. And so that starts with mindset work. And I do that through journaling. There's lots of ways you can do it. You can read, you can meditate, you can do visualization. There's so many different ways that you can do that. I do that through journaling. Yes, Dina says 100% relate. The action is so different depending on the headspace you're in. Exactly. So there's another benefit, just to get clear, to create clarity in your life. The next one is to create energy and momentum that carries with you throughout your entire day. So we all know when we step out of bed and we stub our toe and then we get a phone call and someone's pissed at us and the freaking dog peed on the floor, and like it's like that tailspin of all the bad shit happens, and it's like, oh, I'm just having a bad day. Like, I started off on the wrong foot. Well, there's the opposite effect of that. When you start on the right foot and when you start from a space of clarity and being energized and having that centeredness, when you cultivate that in the morning by getting up and pouring into yourself before you pour into everybody else, because I know I'm a mom, I have 2 little ones. I know I used to get up and it was like instantly I was tending to other people's needs. What do you need? What do you need? What do I need to do to get myself ready to work and to go and to just tend to other people's needs there, and never giving to myself. And so starting the day with pouring into yourself and creating that positive energy and that uplifted energy, and by empowering yourself, it allows you to carry that through the rest of your day and be more productive in your day. Create more productivity in your life, because when you start from a place of productivity and you're doing things and you're checking things off your list instead of just running around frazzled like, oh my gosh, I have to go get ready, I have to get the kids ready. When you start from that place of productivity and you're checking things off your list, you carry that momentum with you. And then it's like, I want to check more things off the list. I want to keep going. And so I run a program all about morning routines. And one of the things that these women always say is like, it's already noon and I've gotten so much done today. Because you start from a space of productivity and then you carry that energy with you. And it just allows you to become a more productive person. So there's that. And then, sip water. And then there's business growth. So business growth, like that's why a lot of people want to hear about this stuff, is they're like, okay, I get it, the mindset work, but like, how can I use this to grow my business? And first of all, the mindset stuff is going to help you grow your business. Like, that's number one, but also carving out that time to get your business activities done first thing, so that first of all, it's not like nagging you all day thinking, I have to get this done, I have to get this done. When am I going to get this done? When am I gonna have time to do this? Oh my gosh, I have to post, I have to create content, I have to like respond to people. And it just like causes this anxiety. There was like when I first started my business, before I was working in the morning, I always felt like I'm missing something, like I'm not doing something, I haven't done something, has been left undone. And it was this like constant feeling of anxiety of I need to post, I need to create content, I need to respond to people. That like carried with me. I felt that all the time. And so part of it allowed me to get resentful of my business. And it was getting in the way of me really enjoying my life because it was always this thing that I had to do. And so when I made the shift to working in the mornings, I can get it done and I get the things done that need to get done. And then, yeah, like sometimes I'll work a little bit at night, or yeah, sometimes I'll answer messages here and there when I need to. But for the most part, I know what has to get done is done. It's done first thing. And then I can live my life. I can live my life and I don't have to worry about whether or not I've moved the needle forward on my business that day, because I know that I have. And so that's how I've created success in my business, is not by working a ton of hours. I work 1 hour in the morning and I work typically 1 hour at night, which is when I do some sort of a call or a training or something like that. That's it. And in a span of a year, I created a full-time income in my business by working 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour at night. And it's because I'm just moving the needle forward every single day. And it's consistency. It's about consistency and knowing that I'm coming from a space of good energy when I do it, because I just did my mindset work. So I'm in the best energetic space possible, not doing it from a space of, oh my gosh, I just have to get this up. Like I need to do this and like rushing through it, or not coming from a space of feeling like I'm sacrificing other areas of my life to focus on my business, which is what I did for a long time. I was sacrificing time with my husband. I was sacrificing time with my kids. I was sacrificing like my own self because I didn't have time to just chill and relax. And instead I get it done in the morning and then I get to live my life. And so it's a win-win. So those are the benefits, the main benefits that I personally gain out of morning routines, and why I'm like so passionate about helping other people create a morning routine that works for them. So there's that. Now here's how to get started, because that's what people are like, okay, now what do I do? How do I get started? Especially when you're not a morning person, or not someone who just naturally gets up early and likes to get up early in the morning. And so the first thing is that you have to want to. So this lifestyle is not for everybody. Not everybody wants to. Well, some people are like, no, that's just not for me. I don't want to do that. And if that's the case and you just don't want to do it and you're like fighting it or forcing yourself to do it, it's just not going to work, because you're in your warm, cozy bed and the alarm goes off and it's like you get up or you don't get up. And if you don't really want to, it's that temptation. You're going to give in to that temptation. So you have to want to do it. I'm not going to fight anyone who says they don't want to do it. You just have to want to. So that's the first thing. The second thing is being connected to your why. Why do you want to do this? And so for me, it was mostly those reasons there. But the biggest factor was I want to create financial freedom for myself. I want to do something with my life that fulfills me and that I'm actually passionate about, and not be stuck in this cycle of doing something that I don't enjoy doing. And I want to create a life of impact for myself. And so that is a strong enough why to move me out of bed. When the alarm goes off and I'm warm under the blankets, that is something that's going to actually move me. And so I know that the process of doing my mindset work, doing my meditation, having time for myself, connecting and growing myself is going to help me in that process. And then also taking the action to move the needle forward every day in my business is going to help me through that. But you have to be like so strongly connected to your why in order to move. And so when people say I'm struggling with this, I'm having a hard time with it, that's always my first question. Always my first question. Why do you want this? And then are you really, really, really connected to that reason? Because there's a difference from having a why and a why that you are so connected to. It's going to actually push you and motivate you and get you going. And so you can journal on that. That's what I do. I journal about my why all the time. I could probably, if you want, I can drop some journal prompts in the group. I didn't like come up with any on that specific topic, but I have a ton of journal prompts on like connecting to your why in a really, really deep way that's going to motivate you. But just taking time to do that, because we can set it one time and say, okay, this is my why. Like, someone told me I need to write this. I need to write down this why. I need to think about this. And then it's kind of like, okay, it's gone. There's a big difference from writing it down once or thinking about it once and connecting to it over and over and over again, continuing to allow it to evolve and grow as you grow. Because something you said a year ago, typically you're going to be in a different place a year from there. So your why is going to be changing. It's going to be growing and evolving, and just really connecting to that on a regular basis. Connecting to that on a regular basis. So you move, so you go. Okay, I'll put those in the in your group, Dana, the journal prompts for connecting to your why. Okay, so that's the next thing. The third thing is to make a plan. And this is basic, but it is helpful, because if you just say, I'm gonna wake up early, I wanna wake up early, I wanna have a morning routine, okay, like that's not going to help you get up. It's more so along the lines of, I'm gonna wake up at whatever time it is, 5 in the morning, 5:30, whatever time you're gonna get up, 6 o'clock, 4:30, whatever. I'm gonna get up at this time, and then this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. Because if you're getting up and you don't have a plan, you don't have something that you are ready to do, it's gonna kind of be like, why am I doing this? So set yourself up for success. Set yourself up for, I'm gonna get up and these are the things that I'm gonna do, and this is why I wanna do those things. There's that. Number 4, start small. And this is like my number 1 tip for consistency and the science of habits in any habit, when it comes to any freaking habit, is to start small and start consistent rather than overloading yourself. Because typically what happens with any sort of goal is it's like you get that burst of motivation and you're like, I'm changing everything. Like, I'm changing my whole life. I'm changing everything. Screw this. I'm like done living this way. And I'm going all in on everything. And then you get really overwhelmed. It's not really realistic, the steps that you told yourself you were going to take. You get burnt out. You feel crappy about yourself because you didn't honor the commitments that you made to yourself, and you give up until you get the burst of motivation again, and then you're like, screw this, I'm going all in, and then you like do the whole cycle over and over and over again. Instead, the smarter way is to start small. Make a habit by making it as easy as humanly possible. So for me, I started with 10 minutes a day. I got up, I did 10 minutes of journaling a day. And then when that got easy, and that was like consistent, and that was a habit and a routine, and it didn't really feel like work or anything extra, I added more to it. And then I just did that over time until now I have a routine, and it doesn't feel like this hard thing for me to do because it's my habit now. It's just a habit. So that's the beautiful thing about habits. Habits make the actions and behaviors that we want to have in our life, it makes it easier for us to do them. It makes them just like no-brainers. We don't have to think about it. We just do them automatically. And so building a habit by taking small, bite-sized little steps and then adding to that, it makes it a lot easier, and it makes it more likely to see success rather than to see burnout. And when you can see success, you can celebrate that. You can feel excited about it, which creates momentum. And then you just keep going, going, going. So start small. Start small. And then make it enjoyable. So that's the last thing. Make it enjoyable. If you have looked at what other people are doing in their morning routine and you think that's what I should be doing because that's what she's doing, but that does not sound like fun for you, you're not going to get up to do it. You're just not. And so for a little while there, I was like, I'm going to work out in the morning and get it done. And I know like this is a lot of people's jam. Like a lot of people love working out early in the morning. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I am trying this. I'm committing to it. I hated it. I freaking hated it. And so my alarm would go off in the morning and I was like, I don't want to get up and do that. And so I didn't get up when I was going through that little phase of me trying that. And then quickly I realized this isn't working. I like my little cozy, like blanket time, just like chilling in the morning. And that's what works for me. But like different things work for different people. And so don't look at what someone else is doing and think that's the only way to do it. Because you can do so many different things with your routine in your morning. And the most important thing is to make it something that you want to do, something that is going to fill you up and start your day from a space of giving to yourself. And so sometimes that might mean giving to your business, and that might mean giving to your health or your fitness or whatever it is, but do something for you, but something that you enjoy. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so Dana wanted me to talk a little bit about fear. And walking with fear and confidence and all those things. And this is one of my favorite topics ever, because in order to be successful and create something that is just amazing and blows your mind and just you are so proud of, it comes with an element of fear. It comes with an element of not feeling good enough, not feeling confident, not believing in yourself. And then a lot of times this element of fear comes from fear of what other people are going to think about you, fear of judgment from other people, fear of rejection from other people, or fear of embarrassment. Or what are people going to think about me if I fail in this new thing that I'm doing or whatever it is. And that is something that like I struggle with. I still struggle with that all the time. Like anytime I'm doing something new, I feel fear. Coming on this call right now, like there was a little bit of like, oh my gosh, like a little bit of fear, you know? And so it's not about not feeling the fear, because we're going to feel it. Like anytime we're doing something new, it is going to be there. And the difference between someone who sees that success is the person who says, I am willing to act despite my fear. I am willing to allow myself to fail. I am willing to fail. Because I have failed so many times on this journey, but I know that if I never had given myself that opportunity to fail, I would not be as far along as I am now. And it's all because I was just willing to allow myself to fail, willing to allow myself to be judged, and willing to do the inner work around me seeing my self-worth for me and having self-worth within myself and not finding my worth in other people's opinions of me, seeking my validation from other people, and giving my power away to them. Because that's always been a huge thing in my life. Like I'm a people pleaser, and a lot of my fear stemmed from, what are these people going to think? Who am I going to disappoint? And how are they going to view me in this way when I do this, or if I fail, or if this doesn't work out, or if I succeed? Like, how are things going to change if I succeed? And so I've done a lot of work around this, and I continue to do work around cultivating my self-worth and my confidence, my belief in myself from within myself, not seeking that from other people. And so that is why the mindset work is so important. That's why I truly believe the mindset work is so important, because we have the power within us, but so often we give that power away to everyone else in our lives, and we seek validation from other people rather than finding our own self-worth and knowing So we are worthy regardless of what other people think about us. And so it's okay to want people to like you. It's okay to want to make people happy and make an impact on people and want people to be proud of you. Like, that is okay. But there's a difference between I need this person to like me, or I'm going to crumble and cry and just feel really, really down on myself and like give up and not want to move forward. Or if this person doesn't like me, I will still be okay. Like, I want them to like me, but I will still be okay, even if they don't. And so that is something that causes us to not take action a lot of times, is the thoughts of what other people are going to think of us. And so the solution to that, and it's an ongoing, ever evolving solution journey, is to find the worth within yourself. And so that's why I'm so obsessed with journaling. That's why I do it every single day, because through that process, I'm able to build my confidence. I'm able to build my belief in myself. And so if someone else says something or doesn't think what I'm doing is great or whatever it is, or I'm scared that I'm going to fail because of X, Y, and Z, I have built that power within myself, and I do that every single day so that I do take the actions, so that I remind myself, I'm living for me. I'm living for me. I'm not living for all those other people or my perception of what those other people are thinking about me, when honestly, most likely, they probably really don't care. And so I want to give you guys some journal prompts to just dive into this a little bit deeper, because fear is like the number one thing that I see that holds people back when it comes to taking big leaps and making big changes in their life. And for me, doing the inner work, doing the deep work is what allows me to just walk with fear like every freaking day. And so one of my mentors says it's like there's fear sitting in the passenger seat. Like, fear is not driving anymore, but it's sitting there because it's always going to be there. And so it's about accepting that it's going to be there, accepting that you're not going to one day just grow out of it and you're just going to be brave and courageous and like you're waiting for that day. Stop waiting for the day when you're going to feel brave or courageous, and create that within yourself by doing the things despite fear. So here's some things you guys can journal on for this. Number one, where am I living in fear? So what areas of your life do you live in fear? So that can be your business, that can be like personal relationships, any area. So journal on that. And then, who are you living for? And so really get honest with yourself. That's like the power of journaling, is to just get honest, get vulnerable, like go there with yourself and ask, like, who are you living for? Are you living for yourself? Or are you living for somebody else? And why? Who is that? And if you were truly living for yourself, you, from your highest self, doing what you know is right for you to do, then what actions would you be taking? I know that's a lot to write down. And then the last one I have is to journal about what you're doing really well. What are you doing really, really well? What do you want to say? I'm doing a really good job at this, at these things. Because so often we look at where we are lacking, and we look at where we're not adding up. And we're not looking at what areas of our life we're freaking rocking it. And sometimes you just got to take a step back and say, you know what, I did a really good job at that. And I showed up and just honor yourself for that. And take the time to do that for yourself.
If I can add to this too, as some of you know, I started going to therapy a couple months ago because a lot of things were coming up for me. And one of the most helpful things that I've been doing is asking myself where those certain fears stem from. Because I think a lot of times we tend to be I'm afraid of what someone else is going to think about that. But we're not going to the deeper core reason of where that fear is actually coming from. Is it coming from guilt, or is it coming from an old story that you've had since you were, 10, when some scenario played out? And it's been super helpful for me to ask myself, where is this fear coming from, to be able to start bringing more truth to it and actually working to let it go. So I want to share that.
Brilliant. Yeah. Actually, I was on a client call last night, and that's all we talked about last night on that call was, okay, she's feeling these fears, and then it's about tracing it back and just really asking yourself, and it can be uncomfortable. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It can be really uncomfortable, and it's vulnerable with your own damn self. You can get vulnerable out to the world, but then when you're really facing your own self, it's this is hard. But to trace back, where is that stemming from? Because so often it is some circumstance, some story, something that happened in our childhood that just formed our identity about ourselves. And so just getting, and you don't have to do this all at once. It's not going to happen in one day, but it's just about opening yourself up to that, to exploring that stuff, so that you can start to let it go and release it and heal it, and just having the awareness around it. Okay, what questions do you guys have? Anyone? I have a couple more things here, but I just want to make sure that I get to you guys' questions if you have any. So let me know. If not, I'll keep going. Okay, so this is last thing we're going to talk about is business activities. So business in the morning, how to really tackle your business in the morning, and moving the needle forward in your business each morning. So for me, that's mindset work every day. This could be 10 minutes, you guys. Don't overthink this. Don't make this something, don't create a story where you're telling yourself you can't do it because you don't have an hour to do it. This can be 10 minutes in the morning. And so just do something. You know what feels right to you. You know what you feel called to do. So do that, number one. Number two is creating a business hour, or a time. It doesn't have to be an hour, but creating that time in your schedule for your business each day. So for me, that's my morning. And I schedule in 1 hour every morning. So I know this is the time I'm working on my business. And I also know what I am doing with that hour every single day. So on Sunday, I sit down and I say, on Monday, I'm doing this, this, and this. On Tuesday, I'm doing this, this, and this. Now, if I don't get to everything on my list, that's fine. I did something that day. And that's the most important thing, that I did something, that I moved that forward every day, doing something. But I'm not going to sit down and be like, la-di-da, what do I do? Oh, I guess I'm just going to scroll social media or do really not much of anything. And so having that list where I pull out my planner and I know today I'm creating content, today I'm making connections, today I'm writing a sales page, today I'm doing whatever it is I'm doing, I know what I'm doing each day, so I can sit down and I can be focused on it. And so I don't know what that looks like for you guys. You know more what that looks like for you, but make a plan and then do not overload your plan, because you want this to be something that you can celebrate yourself for. You don't want this to be something that you leave it feeling disappointed that you didn't do enough or didn't get enough done. So create simple tasks, something that's realistic, something that is doable, and then reflecting on it. At the end of each week, I look at my plan and I say, what did I get done? What did I not get done? Why? Why not? And that allows me to know, okay, how do I need to readjust my plan for the next week? So like one thing that I was doing was I was creating content every single morning. Like I would write my social media post every morning. And then one week I like wrote all these different things I was going to do for the week. And then I realized that the only thing I literally did was write a social media post every day. That's it. That's the only thing I did. And so I'm like, I need to do something. I need to change something here because this isn't working. I'm not getting the other things I want done. Yeah, like social media posts are important, but there's other things I need to do too. And so then recently I've started writing all my posts for the whole entire week on Sunday or Monday. So it leaves me with other time to do other things during the week. But I thought I was doing great. I was working every single day and I'm doing the damn thing. And then realized when I did my reflection that all I did was write social media posts. That was it the whole week. So having that time to reflect is really, really important too. And then finding the time for you so that you can come at your business with the best energy possible. So finding time for yourself so that when you're working your business, you're doing it from a clear head. You're doing it from a place of like being really excited to do it and not from a place of, oh my God, I have to do this. So creating that energy for that. And then that's all I got for you guys. So let me know any questions you have or anything like that. Took me 5 years to get that concept. Yeah.
It took me 5 years to understand that working all of the time was not exactly a healthy thing.
Yeah. New page. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, MP.
That's all I got.
I love this, Nikki. You like literally 365 days a year. It's like, doot, 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 doot. You not only preach it, but you truly actually live it. I love it.
And that's the other thing I want to say. Because I do it with consistency, it doesn't have to feel hard. I just do a little bit every day. I don't have to do like this huge, crazy thing every day. I just have to do a little bit every day. And so it doesn't even feel hard to do that. Whereas when I would skip a bunch of days and then work for like 2 days straight trying to catch up, that felt really freaking hard. And like I was sacrificing a lot in my life to do that. And so it's not about having to show up the most hours. Honestly, for me, it's about doing less, but with more impact behind the actions that I'm actually taking, and then being consistent with those actions.
I loved two things specifically. I think what you were just saying, because it's like everybody knows that feeling sometimes where you sit down and you're kind of like, like I think I'm going to get this done today or like whatever. And then like 2 hours goes by and you're like, well, what did I actually get done right now? Like not even half the things on your list that you intended to. And then you're like, what the hell? Because you feel like you wasted all this time. And then you have those days where they're like, the unicorn days where you're like, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and you sit down and you crush it and you feel so good about it. I think it's so awesome how you like use the concept of connecting to clarity and the why and the mindset to really get in that space to take that action, because it's so true, especially with what we do, is like when you're not really connected to the why, you slack and like are so distracted in the how. Like it's not the same type of action as when you're like, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, I'm just gonna act on it, I'm gonna do the damn thing. The other thing I love that you were talking about was how like don't follow everybody else and then be like, okay, well I'm gonna try to do that or I'm gonna try to do this. Because I swear for years I tried to hodgepodge becoming a morning person. I'm still not a morning person, but at least I have like a meditation routine and like my affirmations and my gratitude journal now. But that was only when I finally stopped trying to be like, I'm going to be a 4:30 a.m. person when I'm, no, it's just, it doesn't work. Like you said, when it's something you don't enjoy and it's something that you're like, I hate this, rather than like, I'm excited to get up and do this. So I think that's huge, of being like, what do you want it to feel like and what feels exciting for you to make that space in the morning versus like, oh, I dread this, but I know I should be doing it.
I have people in my program who they do 10 minutes a day and that's it. And that has changed their life. 10 minutes a day. One of the girls does gratitude, 10 minutes a day of gratitude every single day, where she writes down the things she's grateful for. That's changed her life. And then another girl does like prayer devotional every single morning for 10 minutes. And that's it. All that they do, but it makes such a huge difference. And then also there's women that are on like night shift and they work nights. So they're not getting up at the butt crack of dawn like me. And that works too.
Yeah.
It's not about what time you wake up. It's just about starting your day from a space of intention.
That's what took me forever to learn. That was what it was. It was like, oh, if I don't get up at 5 a.m., that I'm not a morning person. I can't do a morning routine. It's like, you can do something for a morning routine, whatever time it is you wake up.
Exactly.
I love that. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to share that was helpful or aha moments?
As a mom, it's what waking before anyone else to have that time to mentally prepare for life. Yes. Like I need that quiet time because that's the only quiet time I get for the entire day. And my son, he has started waking up early. And so he's been waking up at like, sometimes he wakes up at 5:30. I'm like, no, go back to bed. Like, you're just not, I'm not even entertaining this. But he wakes up and now he knows, he's 8, so he's older. But he knows like he's got to go read a book or do something because this is my time and that's just what it is. But that took time, but I have to have like just that, like that's just that little bit of time to myself in the morning before the chaos starts.
Yeah, 100%.
Niki, you guys, and we've talked about this before, but like my son, he is the early riser and it's just like he has a sixth sense. Like I would start my routine and I get in a good groove and all of a sudden he'd be waking up like just 15 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier. He'd be up with me every single time. And I was like, and so that's why, I mean, I know I make excuses for myself and it's like, I have to either embrace like what you're kind of doing with your son, like saying like, all right, if you're going to be up, you're going to do something quiet. That you're not going to like interrupt my time. And like, just, I'm glad that you said it doesn't have to be, you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else's routine. Like in my head, maybe I had built it up to be this like giant thing where I need to like meditate and journal and do all these things. And like, these are things that I mean, journaling is nice, but it's not like my go-to. What I had found for me was working, and it was like that 10-minute, 15-minute thing right before I work out was doing the miracle morning type thing where like the savers, the lifesavers, and just like silence, affirmations, and then like reading something that was just setting the intention to be like a really good day. And so like that was enough for me to kind of start my morning. So I need to get back to it. So no, it definitely makes a huge difference when you start your day with intention. It does make you more productive, and there's like so much to it that, you know, like Dana says, it doesn't have to be at 5 a.m. It could be, you know, maybe you have it. It's a practice of some sort whenever you do it. So I love that.
Yep. And then also with kids, because I know this is a thing and I hear this all the time, is to be like, I know it can be hard to be patient, but just it can take time for them to understand like, oh, mommy has her quiet time. But they do end up catching on. Like even my daughter, she's 3, she gets it now, but it took time. And so it was just about me not feeling like it needed to be perfect or it was being ruined because now I didn't get what I had expected, but really releasing the expectations around it and just letting it be what it was meant to be that day. And letting it unfold how it was meant to unfold that day without having these crazy expectations of perfection.
It's like the same thing when you have a workout going with your kids around and it's like a total SHIT show, but you're like, I'm just going to get it done because this is how it has to happen. And they might be crawling on me, but like, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Hey, Nikki, can you talk a little bit about right when you were first starting your own journey with like the morning routine, and like, was it hard, like getting that routine, that habit down? And like, when did you feel like that click, that shift where you're like, okay, this is normal, this is routine for me?
So it was hard, like super, super hard at first because I was the night owl and I hated waking up early, like hated it. And so it was hard. Like it definitely there was a transition period where I was really, really tired in the morning. I wasn't used to it. It was harder for me to go to bed earlier. But the other thing was I shifted my bedtime earlier too. So it's I never want you guys to sacrifice your sleep. Like don't sacrifice your sleep to have an early morning. I had to shift my bedtime and my nighttime routine around to make that work. But then eventually my body just kind of got used to that. When I'm waking up early in the morning, I'm going to want to naturally go to bed earlier at night. And so then the other thing though was it didn't really start clicking and becoming something that I was actually really, really excited to do until I was super, super connected to my why and my vision and like what was I building in my mornings, how was my morning working for me, and that vision of where it was taking me. So that's really when I was like ready to get up, like jumping out of bed in the morning, because I was like, I get to work on this, I get to create this, and I'm using this time to do that, so I don't have to sacrifice the other areas of my life that matter to me and my family time and those types of things, because I have a full-time job too. I have 2 kids. Like I busy person, and so and just like everybody else. And so that was my time when I could get those things done and really work on my dream. So that's when it started getting easy, was when I had a little bit of the consistency behind me. So the momentum was there. And I was really connected to what am I doing in the morning that's going to propel me forward and move me forward.
I think it's even so much more powerful when you mention how you do work full time and that you built your business, a full-time business, in an hour every single morning. Well, you plus your you time, but like in portions of calls at nights. But like you really built like an incredible business in super small focused pockets,
Mm-hmm.
which is incredible.
Thank you. And what Nicole said about fear. Everyone feels fear. Everyone.
Yeah.
I was scared before I got on this call today. I was like, because I do live streams all the time. And so going on a live stream is just like nothing. Like I don't even get scared anymore, but I used to get really scared before I would do them. This is different for me. So I was like, oh, I hope they like it. You know, like I felt the fear around that. And so everyone feels it, but you can't let that stop you. Fear doesn't get to dictate your actions. You are the one that chooses your actions.
Yeah.
But it's also about just recognizing when it's fear that's talking. That's like one of the first steps is like, this is fear. Okay. Just recognize it. And then ask yourself, am I the person that wants to let fear run the show? Or am I the person who I get to let run the show of my life?
Yeah. 100%.
Choose again. Yes. Yep.
I love it. I think it's so much more helpful when people actually talk about fears, because it's so easy to like be so in your own head and be like, nobody else feels this shit but me. When we really all do, all the time, forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah.
On my drive home today from Smithfield, I listened to Mastering Your Mean Girl, and it's definitely a lot of recap of a lot of other great lessons. But like, I mean, it's so true. We're all in our own head. We all have this negative self-talk, and like the more you work through it, the more you work on this mindset piece, is just like it releases so much of that, and like you kind of feel like that weight lifted off your shoulders. So definitely a good reminder.
And just being aware of it too. Like most people are not aware that it's fear that's driving them every single day and making choices for them every single day. Most people don't recognize that. So just the awareness of that and being able to call yourself out on it. Like I call myself out on it all the time. And so it's just, nope, that's fear. And fear is never true. It's never the actual truth. It's never the highest truth. So knowing that, I can just change the script, change the story, and make a different decision that's not based off of fear. So self-awareness is so key when it comes to how you're making decisions in your life and the behaviors and the actions that you're taking.
I love that, Nikki, when you just said as my highest and best, whatever you just said, that lingo. I took a Reiki certification like 2 months ago, and one of the coolest things that just like a little hack that she taught me was like, a lot of people think that like when you become more spiritual, right, that all of a sudden you just like don't think negative stuff anymore. Like if you meet people, like think about people who are just like really chill, they're really zen, they're always really calm and like happy and positive, right? And you're like, I guess they just don't like feel any of this stuff, right? And it's not true. It's just you become more aware of it. And like the little thing that she said to me was like, when those things come up for you, it can often be more frustrating because you're like, I know better. Like I know better. I shouldn't be thinking this, right? And so she was like, ask when that comes up, like to release it. And I would ask that this be recycled back to me in my highest and best. Like I'm releasing this fearful thought. I'm releasing this limiting belief. I'm releasing whatever and asking that it be brought back to me in my highest and best. And I really love that because it feels like then you have something to do with it, and not only do with it, but it comes back to you in like a better form. And I was like, I love that so much.
I love that too.
Like recycling it.
I had a conversation recently with someone who's, well, like, how do you know that the fear is not true? Like, what if it actually is true? What if I am going to fail? What if my fear is actually going to come true? And so my response to that, and I've done a lot of work around this, is just knowing that the fear is never actually true. If you fail, it's a lesson. It's something you learn and you can get back up and try again. And fear is actually never the highest truth ever, because you are limitless. You can do anything that you want to do. Anybody can. And so the fear is never actually the truth. Yeah. So when those fears come in, just tell yourself, like, it's not true. It's not actually true.
Yeah. I love that. It's the perspective about it, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. It's making me want to go change my alarm settings on my phone because I'm going to bump it up like just 15 minutes earlier. Just a little bit. I can't do big chunks because then I fail.
You can be a crazy lunatic like me. I've actually not waking up as early as I used to.
The day you ever see me wake up in the hour of 4 a.m., I don't know. It's like
I've been in the 5s lately. It's been in the 5s because I do these trainings at night, and I still like want to get my.
You have to sleep or you can't function.
Yes.
True.
So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much. This was super helpful. And I think I love the journal prompts too. I'm really excited about those. And I think those two are going to be really great, especially for newer coaches, like the ideas of addressing that fear, right at the get-go, to kind of start nipping it in the butt before it carries on too far.
No, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Shepler, or you can join. I have a Facebook group called Our House Habits. It's a Facebook group. I do a lot of free trainings, free challenges, all that type of stuff. So you can find me there.
You can post it in the team page if you want to, Nikki.
Okay, I'll do that.
You should join, by the way. It's awesome. All right, thank you so much. Oh wait, we got a boomerang before we go.
Oh yeah.
This is our nightly routine. If I remember, usually. Oh, everybody's doing peace signs tonight. Oh, I love Mary Page going. Happy birthday, Mary Page.
Thank you.
Right. Good night, ladies. We'll see you next week.